Another great question that we've gotten a lot lately is, why can't I design my own cover? I know how to work on Canva. I can make it up on Canva. Okay, can you? So I've come up with top 7 reasons why it's not a good idea to design your own cover. Number 1, appearance. If you're not a trained graphic designer, your book may come across as low quality and unprofessional. And is that really the brand that you want to put out there? Number 2, your fonts may be hard to read. We had that recently where someone said, I don't like the fonts you picked for us. I really like those swirly, scripty fonts. Well, those swirly, scripty fonts are squirrely and very difficult to read, especially if you're trying to get the attention of someone to buy your book on Amazon.com. Those little tiny postage stamps are not very big, and you want to make sure that they can even read your title at that tiny little postage stamp size. The other reason why you don't want to design your own cover is you might be giving out the wrong vibe. And what I mean by that is book covers need to show what type of book, what's your content about. If your cover doesn't match your book genre, readers are going to get confused. They're not going to know what your book is about. Same thing with your subtitle. I've seen titles and subtitles that don't connect, don't make sense. And then they have this crazy graphic and you're trying to figure out, what is this book about? Number 4, we talked about bad font choices a little earlier and how hard it can be to read fonts that aren't really meant to be read at a distance or if there's a lot of words on your cover. A beginner might pick fonts that don't look good, they're hard to read, and I always say fonts have feelings too. If you're writing a murder mystery, you want scary looking fonts, but you still need to be able to read them. If you're writing a love story, you don't want scary looking fonts necessarily. There is a way to determine what are going to be the best fonts for your book, and we can help you with that. The other thing to be aware of, number 5, is don't just go grab any photo that you see. I had someone show me their book cover one time and how excited they were. They had actually scanned the front cover of their high school yearbook because they liked that photo. And then they cropped out the words at the top of that photo and used the same photo from their high school yearbook without getting permission. Not a good thing to do. 1, you need permission. 2, if you're taking a scan of a photo that's already been used on a book, you're probably going to get a lot of blurriness by the time you put it on your book, and it's not going to look professional at all. The other thing to be thinking about is colors. There's a whole psychology around the colors that you pick for your book. Just because you wear a lot of purple and red doesn't mean that you necessarily want it on your cover. Recently, we had someone that their logo was red and green, and so they really wanted red and green on their cover. When you put red and green together anywhere, it's going to shout Christmas. Their book wasn't about Christmas, and so we're trying to have that conversation with them. Let's pick one color rather than, all 3 of your colors to put on your cover. One color from their logo. That way it does help tie it together, but it doesn't shout unnecessarily things that you don't want it to shout. The other thing to be aware of, number 7, is printing problems. If you're not a trained graphic designer, you're not going to know that low-res image is not going to print well. You're not going to know how to set up your pages. We're recently redoing 2 children's books because the original graphic designer did not know what a bleed was. A bleed is simply where you don't want a white line around a full-color photo or a full-color beautifully illustrated image on some of the pages, but not white lines on the edges of some of the other pages. It makes it look inconsistent and unprofessional. A bleed will take that image out all the way past that paper cut and make it look as if it's well thought out. Your book is an extension of your brand. You want to make it look good. Professionals know how to make your covers that attract readers and give your book the best chance to succeed. Are you ready to write that book you've been thinking about? I'm Cathy Davis, Davis Creative Publishing. We're ghost publishers of solo books and anthologies. We do all the work and you get all the accolades.